All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. If she be down the ride, oh, I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Everybody cool? Are you clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling irie? Let's talk. Trying out a new view with the camera here just to see if, and the microphone is a little bit closer. I'm trying to keep it a certain tone to see if this all works out. Just trying out some new things here. So bear with me. I have a serious question, a serious question. This may be a little uncomfortable for some people, but it is a question nonetheless. How many, and I want you guys to kind of be honest in the comment section, how many of our postal workers have been verbally and sexually harassed by a supervisor or somebody that's superior to you? It's a very touchy subject, but I have a reason for this. They're speaking about a postal worker's sexual harassment allegation against the United States Postal Service is now heading to trial. And this person is going all the way up to the U.S. District Court because somebody said enough was enough. So here's the real question. You don't have to leave the details behind it, but I know there are a lot of supervisors, postmasters, everybody that watches me. This is a real serious issue. And if a postal worker that for some reason all of a sudden has power. This is where, it's one thing if, it's two co-workers that are going at it and, boys will be boys. But when you put somebody up, and girls will be girls, because we're not just going to limit it to the men. But when you put somebody up in a higher standard and say, hey, you're now supervisor, you're now manager. They're supposed to have some type of, they're supposed to be held to a higher standard. And if they're not held to a higher standard, then what are they put up there for? Because it just happens on a regular basis. I know for a fact it happens. I work in a department right now where one of the people that was there and gone and he somehow made his way back. It's a consistent thing. Person of power, because the position that I'm in, it has a little bit of power, but you should never utilize that power to try to influence your own personal needs, and make people uncomfortable to come to work. There are a lot of people that have actually quit because of this. There's a lot of people that don't want to come to work because of this. And when they reach out and try to, file EEO charges, it gets brushed under the rug and they'll say, oh, well, welcome to the club. He does that to everybody, or she does that to everybody. That's not acceptable behavior. And it's a very interesting article. I'll leave it. No, actually, you guys can look it up. It's in postaltimes.com. I'll read the first few pages. U.S. postal worker who says her supervisor sexually harassed her both failed to convince a federal judge to grant them a pretrial win in a workers' civil rights suit. The worker properly exhausted her administrative remedies, meaning she went through all the steps at the post office. So USPS can't score an early victory on that ground. Say, oh, well, did she tell her supervisor? Did she file that? She went through everything. The U.S. District Court for Eastern District of Michigan said, and the hostile work environment claims belong in front of a jury because the facts surrounding it are in dispute, the Wednesday order added. person worked as a rural carrier, etc., etc. Like I said, this is a very interesting article. You can actually look it up. Sandra Malloy versus Louis Dejoy, which is the defendant. This was filed October 4th, 2023. And yeah, it's interesting. It's wait a minute. I don't know if it's against him, honestly. It's a lot of I'm sorry, I got lost in it. Yeah, you guys should read this. It's a lot going on there. And Jay, would you just say what it is? I don't want to destroy the article. But end of the day, the lady was being sexually harassed, and it comes a point when enough is enough. And when is enough enough? There's a cry for help with a lot of things, because we all just want to go to work, do our thing, come home. And it's a little harder for women, I guess. Any woman. It's not even pretty women anymore. It's just, women in general. They tend to be, looked on as fresh meat. And that's just the thing. And if you don't know and you're new to the post office, holiday season is coming up. And all the holiday help that starts coming in are new faces. And once they come in there, you'll see all the new the supervisors will basically look like lions in a meat factory. And it's pretty disgusting, because I can sit back and watch. I was on the road driving trucks, and come back and I'll just observe for the few minutes. But it's a continuous thing. But when is the standards going to be held differently? When is the work environment going to change? Because that's considered a hostile work environment. That's one of the parts of it. A person got to go home and feel like, trash because they didn't give in to the foolery. I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I've been, sexually harassed at work. I can't say that I've done the sexual harassing either, because I kind of need this job. I can joke, and I can flirt very, very cautiously, because that's just my nature. But there's just a very, very, very fine line, because of the Me Too movement with the women. And I ain't downplaying it, but it's just a very fine line, when men are at work and they go extra, and there's absolutely no need. Even when a woman's like, oh, you're not gonna compliment my hair, and the first thing, and anybody that knows me is saying, yeah, nah, I need my job. This job right here, I need this job. Oh, come on, man. No, I need this job. And that's why I kind of, I shun the flirtatious, not even the over flirtatious nature, because I talk to everybody. But there just has to be a line that's drawn. And when's that going to change? When is it going to change? We're training new supervisors for this. We're training new supervisors for that. There has to be some type of implementation of a rule that there is a serious consequence for sexual harassment. Not an allegation, but actual proof. Because anybody can allege anything. But when there's actual proof and you hear it from multiple people, it's one thing to say, oh, the person just flirting with me. I'm like, yeah, no. But then you hear, oh, he does that on a regular basis from another person. Okay, well, now it's time for all of you guys that say he does that on a regular basis to step up. Or she does that on a regular basis, because there are plenty of women that seek attention from handsome men. It's a true thing. Sorry, ladies, you're not the only one. And then when they don't get the attention, then all of a sudden people start getting written up. All I'm saying is that times need to change. If we in this for the long haul and the long run, times need to change. Why does this lady have to waste all of her time going through all these steps to go up to the top? And I kind of read this article And you should as well. Malloy versus Dejoy. Check it out. You can look up the article on postaltimes.com and see for yourself if it's there's steps that can be taken, because I get emails all the time. And this is one of those where somebody recently emailed me and it just happened to be an article. All right. Your voice can be heard in the comment section, because everybody reads them anyway. Without consequence. Without consequence. All right. It's JH. Sorry for the lack of entertainment, but this is a serious issue. I'm out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.